Hey everybody, this is AK. Just want to let everybody know I'm fixing to drop that second episode. It's going to be with the DFW local, TJ from Law Tigers. I want to thank Maverick Harley-Davidson for letting us use that upstairs lounge area. Talked to TJ, cracked a little, laughed a lot, good times. Army veteran, good people. So next time you're at the dealership and you see him under that tent, go up there, walk up to him, shake his hand, spark up a conversation. He's good people, veteran, brother in arms. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Please like, share. Definitely, if you have any questions, shoot an email. Located in the description below. Ride safe. Out. Hey everybody, this is AK. I'm here with TJ from All Tigers. We're going to dig in a little bit, see what he does, and then see what branch of service, Army obviously, and then go into a little bit of what you do to unwind. Some of the vets I've been talking to, like cook, ride, and it's just more of options and leadway. And then what I'm going to do, there's a young lady that I know, she was married to a vet, and also going to get her point of view from like a spouse. So that's like for the longest time, I didn't know what was going wrong with me. I would drink a lot, and I would embrace fighting. I would smile when a fight was coming. And I didn't know what it was, and then something happened where it was brought to my attention, so reached out for help, and pretty much that's what it is. And then I did a little class with the VA, and then I remembered that's exactly what my grandfather was going through, because he was in the Korean War and he was a tanker. And then I remember him, he would, only time I'd see him, he would go to the kitchen, to his bedroom with a can of Schlitz malt liquor, the blue can. And like,
I remember it well.
Deadly afraid of that gentleman. I never talked back to him. And then when I went through boot camp, my mom brought me over to his house, and we talked a little bit, and we kind of had almost level ground. And he was like, he showed me pictures of my grandma when they were little. Like, man, they must have been like 16, 15 back then. And he had like the cool looking pompadour, the grease, the oil, whatever the combination was.
My grandpa was the same way, man.
And then he's like, we used to call you Marines bellhops back in the day. And I was like, Roger that, Grandpa. And it's like, because your uniform's like, I right there. I'm not saying shit, Grandpa. I didn't even curse at him. Like, definitely. So. And then when I do this, I'm going to edit it and then put it on Facebook and share it. And then my biggest thing is this might be a video that reaches out to one of the vets that might change their outlook. Because, it's really easy to be self-medicating. And I got a lot of friends that smoke pot. And then what are you going to do when you run out? Or
what's your backup plan?
Or freaking they drink like a lot. And because they need it to sleep, so they say. And then you wake up in the middle of the night and all the liquor stores are closed or whatever. And then what are you gonna do then? And then thinking starts setting in. So that's my thing. So, So all right.
So what do you want to know?
Yeah. So what do you do for Law Tigers?
I'm the marketing manager for North Texas. I cover everything from Abilene all the way over to Texarkana, Oklahoma border down to Waco, a little bit north of Waco. So I got a pretty big territory. I travel around. I visit all the motorcycle shops in the area. I think we've got like 170 something shops that I currently visit, and I know there's a bunch more out there. But I go and I talk about how Law Tigers can help represent riders when they get injured. But a lot of ways we help the shops as well with printed materials. We help with events. We help with sponsorships. We do a lot of charity stuff. So there's a whole lot of things that we do that keep me pretty darn busy up here, for sure.
Cool. And then, so what was your time frame in the Army, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I was in from 91 to 98. Did a little Inactive Reserve after I ETS'd through, I think, the end of 99. So however many was that 8 years, something like that. I was a 98 Golf. I was an Intel Signals linguist. My primary languages were Russian and Serbo-Croatian. So I spent some time in Bosnia, and that was probably my hot box zone. We went over. We were first over the Sava, and it was a wild west when we went.
Did you do any other type of? Because I have a friend. She's in counterintelligence now, but back then she was with, I guess, the veterinarian corps, and that's when they would start to bring the Malwal pups over. So they would actually go over there. The trainers would have these little bitty puppies, like I seen a picture, and the thing looked like it was 4 weeks old.
Yeah.
And like it was already in attack kill mode.
Yeah.
So you didn't do any like translation for anything like that?
I didn't do any of that. No. We obviously did a lot of translation. We did some human intelligence stuff where we, did some interviews and some interrogations and stuff like that. I did some work with the United Nations, UNHCR, and the mass grave sites and all that kind of stuff, which is probably the biggest thing for me was dealing with some of that stuff. But yeah, it was an interesting time.
Yeah, because I remember we were supposed to take over one of the missions the Army had. Then I was a combat engineer, and I think they had the Army had a floating bridge that they needed to be.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to take it over them or help them out or something.
Yeah.
And then something happened really fishy, and then like all talk stopped. So I don't know if they found another site, grave
Who
site.
knows, man?
Yeah. But it was like we're all geared up, we're like all pumped. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
And everybody was trying to con the lieutenant to sign off on so we could bring our own pistols and stuff. Like, all we gotta do is check it into the armory, and it becomes official. And then we just check it back out when we get back. No. So we're getting ready.
That's a good plan, though. That's a good plan.
Yeah, for a bunch of Lance Corporals that got in trouble.
It might have worked, right?
I'm surprised if we would have went, they would have let us take weapons, because we were the platoon that you wouldn't have to worry about shooting.
Yeah.
You would have to worry about them overshooting. So like, we only giving everybody one round. That's pretty much.
Funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's cool. So now that you're out and you've seen a lot of people that cross deck with, what do you do to I don't know, to slow down your thinking, hobbies or whatnot?
Well, I mean, I think for a long time, like a lot of us, self-medication was definitely a thing. I did get in a lot of altercations and things like that. I was still pretty young when I got out. I was late 20s, so I still had a lot of that testosterone-y adrenaline and all the stuff in my head that just was looking for a way to get out. So and I'm looking for a bunch of ways to keep it in. So the same thing as everybody else, a lot of drinking, stuff like that. Seems like I didn't sleep very much. I still have issues with that from time to time. So it took a long time for me to figure out that I was messing myself up more than I was helping myself. Went through a lot of relationships, girlfriends. I've been married twice. I'm in my third marriage now. A lot of the negative results of those relationships had a lot to do with the military time and the stuff we deal with. I ended up going to a counselor, a therapist, and we did some EMDR programs, the rapid eye movement stuff, and relating it to things that make us feel better. So my whole thing, we talk about family and stuff a lot. My grandparents were really close with me, and so my safe space in my head became grandma's kitchen table. So I learned through EMDR to figure out how to kind of transport myself when I'm having an issue to that place, and it works pretty well for the most part. There's days it is what it is, and there's other ways that you got to figure out how to deal with it. We all ride, so that's a big thing for me is being able to go out and ride. I was in an accident in 2019, I think it was February. Got hit actually just up the street from here. I was leaving here to go to another event, and I got hit from behind and totaled my bike and ended up having to have surgery and all kinds of stuff. So I haven't done a whole lot of riding since then, so I've had to find different ways to deal with stuff. You mentioned cooking earlier. I do a lot of that. I learned how to smoke meats. I grill. I've always liked to cook. I grew up cooking with my grandparents and my parents, so it was kind of a natural transition. Probably one of the luckiest things for me was meeting my wife. We've been married since 2016 now, and she had a full-on family, 5 kids, and I took all that on, and believe it or not, as much as I thought it was going to be just this big mess and going to mess with my head and just be a problem, these kids and having to focus on them and focus on a family and focus on somebody other than myself really helped out, and they've helped me to kind of express myself a lot more positively, because I got to do it in a different way. Otherwise, I'm hurting them and not just myself. I tell them all the time. They make fun of me because I tell them they broke me, right?
Yeah.
They obviously think they fixed me, which they did, but I
Yeah.
say they broke me because before I was this hard, you ain't getting to me, no way, no how, you'll never break this wall down. And now, I see a picture of my grandkids and I'm like, I'm good, man, so I'm a totally different person. Obviously there's stuff that we deal with all the time that's never going to go away, but I turn to these guys, I turn to my friends, we've got a lot of veteran friends that I can call up anytime and talk to, emails, text messages, whatever. But those are probably the primary ways.
And it's kind of curious. I'm kind of curious because you said that. Is it because I know a lot of vets that took on families that their future wives already had. And I was like, is it pushing us back into the platoon mentality where we could know, we know, right?
You know what? I had never thought about it that way, but I bet my son would say, "Yeah, Dad, you're back in platoon sergeant mode all the time."
He's like, "Yeah."
It is kind of like that, I guess. You know what you know, and you manage what you manage in that way. So yeah, I guess that does.
We had like the best leadership when it comes to like platoon because like. It's revolutionary times. The military just kept building and building the same method to the madness, and right now what they have is just crazy.
Yeah, especially now with all the changes coming down that have been coming out recently. It's a whole different world. I don't think you and I would recognize it at all. It's too different. It's too different. But for me, I think it took a long time, and it's an ongoing chore every day. There's still nights that I don't sleep well, and there's still times that my wife wakes me up and I'm not in the bedroom, I'm somewhere else. And another thing that helps is I recently got a dog, a German Shepherd that we're looking to train as a help to me, as a service dog. I've seen a lot of guys have some good success with that, so I think that we're going to try it out.
Yeah, because like I was at the VA, and there was a gentleman that had one, and I thought it was like a special breed, but it's pretty much any dog that's more than willing to please. Yeah. And like he was like, you could tell the anxiety was building. Maybe because I know what he was going through, and then the dog just like put his paws on his lap and stuck his muzzle in his face. Yep. And then the guy just kind of realized and just kind of like, kind of like trying to pull the dog off a little bit, and then realized what the dog was doing. So like, definitely.
Yeah, they're super trained. I've got a friend that's got a golden doodle, big dog. I mean, they're surprisingly big, but he has real bad nightmares and stuff sometimes, and the dog will actually climb up on top of him and lay on top of him like a weighted blanket kind of thing, and helps him calm down.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool what they can do. Those dogs are so damn smart. It's unbelievable. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think it'll help out. I hate to say emotional support animal, but I mean, that's kind of what it is.
It is what it is.
That's kind of what it is.
And I think we're at an age in our life that we can say whatever the hell we want to.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't care what you think.
Trophy wife, whatever. Like, wait till you get my age. You see the stuff. If that's what it is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then I know my grandfather would have never said that, but that's a different time where they're just stacking bodies for to keep from being hit by bullets and like.
That was I hate to think what we'd be like if we were in that type of thing. Chosin Valley, all that kind of stuff. Man, that's rough times.
But I also see it that with our generation pushing this, because I do have maybe like a barrier that I have to overcome with Vietnam vets, and like, of course they didn't get respected like the way they should have been, but at the same time, we're setting a precedence for our children if they choose to be in the military. So at least we know that it's just more than being shell shocked or whatever the medical term is. So it's we're building a database of knowledge that we can help later warfighters, because it's our culture. It's protect and serve this country. And we're always gonna have knuckleheads. We're gonna have to challenge in their own ground. So.
I think Vietnam vets especially, I understand that they're hard nuts to crack for sure. I know a bunch of them. I'm a CVMA member.
Okay. Okay.
So, we've got quite a few that ride with us and stuff, and I think the camaraderie is a big deal. Those are guys that will seldom talk about what it is that they've seen and they've done, unless they really know you. And having someone that you're close to like that, and just offering the possibility to be there for them at some point and be around, helps them get a little more comfortable and talk about some of the things they need to talk about. The brotherhood doesn't end just because we're not active duty anymore. It continues on, and I think that's an important component. You gotta be around guys who are like you, and that helps.
Definitely. And with Harley-Davidson, so like with Dave Morocco that's downstairs in the classes, and like Harley-Davidson for the most part, for the dealerships I've been to, since like I did the 18 dealership, well almost 18, I still got to go to California. All of the guys broke up from one dealership and they got scattered. Now they're GMs and sales managers. Yeah. And it's scary how it is. So they had it set up where you had a fit, and then you had two or three fits, then a ride, and it's almost a fire team. And then y'all all report to the guys
exactly
at the
what it is.
Tower. And like that's very relatable.
Well, it's just like earlier today. You're walking in, you're seeing people you haven't seen in a while. It's the same thing that we
from other dealerships.
You go to a different unit, you get transferred, and whatever. You run across each other. Who knows where? It's the same kind of deal, and I think maybe that's why I love the riding community so much, because there are guys that I don't see and gals I don't see for months, even years in some cases, and then you see them again, and it's like you never missed a beat. And it's the same thing with your vet buddies. It's very similar, man. It really is.
I don't know. I think that's what it is. We're trained and set in our ways, and then we look for familiarities.
Yeah.
And then eases us a little bit. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Well, I want to thank you for your time.
Oh man, my pleasure.
Hopefully this recorded. If
not, we'll do it again.
We'll do it again. We're check it out.
Where do you want?
Sit down.
Standing, sitting. What do you want?
Probably stand.
Right.
It keeps my stomach from bending over and all the.
I know you feel. It looks better standing.
Because the first one I did, I was like, oh shit, man, I need to lose some weight.
I know the feeling.
All we are just freaking vets who get out and get